going on, peeps? It's Wrath here, hanging out today, playing some Monster Legends. I want to thank you guys so much for coming out with me today. If you liked the video, don't forget to smash that thumbs up button to show your support. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe as well. Alright guys, today is a monumental and momentous day. Alright, first up, we're going to gather our loot up, and then we're going to talk about some stuff and things. Or, we could talk about some stuff and things while we're gathering loot up. Two birds, one stone kind of thing? Let's try that. Okay, so, yesterday, I made a video about where the future of the channel is probably going to end up going. And I'm not going to lie, I kind of expected it to get a lot of dislikes. You know, a lot of people like, I'm not really big on your future plans because, my channel's right now been built around mobile gaming. But to my surprise, there was an overwhelming amount of support. A lot of it. And I was like, that's really cool, because I wasn't really expecting that. I was kind of expecting it to be a pretty negative video, but it did not turn out that way. So that's awesome. That's great. I'm very happy about that. But another momentous thing is today, well actually last night, right after I uploaded my video, we got our very first patron on the channel. So a humongous thank you and a big shout out to Garrett Zeipt. I do believe that's how your last name is said. I could be wrong. I don't know. But either way, you're absolutely amazing. The very first patron of the channel. You're an awesome guy, so I wanted to say thank you because you are awesome. Alright? So, with that being said, with that humongous news out of the way, let's gather this war loot up. I didn't record on the war. Sorry, peeps. I kind of got on really, really late, so I didn't get a chance to record it, but whatever. It's not the important thing. We're going to do a really quick jump in here and check up on the Metal Band Island. I am on Keythor, not really far into Keythor. Like I said, I'm not really trying crazy hard like Jim or anything, so I don't really think I'm going to get Metalhead anyway. So I might as well just kind of coast and chill, you know what I'm saying? It's always nice to coast and chill. So that's a little bit of a Progressive Island update for you guys. But today, we're going to do an analysis of the Undertaker, alright? Now I know the race is already over. But like I said before, I don't like to do an analysis of race monsters until they're actually out and in people's hands, because if you do them during the race, that monster is still liable to be changed all the way up until the moment the race is over. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because no one has that monster yet. So that's why I wait till it's out, people have it, because generally by the time it's out and people have it, any incorrect information on the wiki is usually addressed in the comments and stuff like that, so hopefully all this is going to be right. You know what I'm saying? Because that's important. So we're going to go ahead and jump in and do that analysis, and it's going to be great, peeps. Alright, guys, so here we are at the analysis page. Now we're going to do this like we always do, going through stats, skills, special skills, all that good jazz, and then we'll talk a little bit more in depth about him after that's over. Now, unfortunately, I don't have this guy, so if there's any incorrect information in this, it's because I can't really test it myself. I mean, I am kind of relying on some things other people have told me, and hoping they're not lying to me, because I don't like liars. Don't lie to me, peeps. Don't lie to me. Alright, anyways, that's not important. Let's jump in and talk about his stats. I mean, a lot of people really were upset with the stats, alright? And I'm not, for a couple of reasons. So, first up, his power, 3,388. They said, well, that's pretty low for a power. It's not even 3,400. Yes, it's a little low for a base power if you're going damage dealer. That's true. But base power is not nearly important of a stat as base speed is. For, like, a base speed to a denial is way more important than base power to a damage dealer, alright? We'll talk about that in a second just because it is kind of important, alright? His life stat's crazy, though. 34,683. That's pretty much tank level life. He can take a serious punch and keep going. That's not only beneficial for a tanking kind of monster, a supporting kind of monster, it's very beneficial for a damage dealer to have that kind of life, because it means your damage dealer can't be one-shot. Whereas a damage dealer like Uria's Pet, yeah, Uria's Pet has more power and more speed than this guy, but with 22,000 life, you can very easily one-shot it. And that's something this guy doesn't really have the big issue of dealing with, as being one-shot. Alright, moving down his speed, 3,399. And again, not a very fast speed for a base speed, but this guy is not a denial monster. So his base speed's not super duper important. It can be a little important. It's not crazy. It's not like a life or death, he's got slow speed. It's not like a denial monster, alright? Alright. So moving down, max gold per minute, 155. That's always crappy, alright? We'll just say it, that sucks. But whatevs. His trait, the Gravedigger. This is a new trait for just him, I'm guessing. It says it's immune to all kinds of possession, and people were saying, this blocks Hackster, it blocks Glitch as well. No, I'm just gonna say, people have already said that they've seen pictures of this guy being hacked and being rebooted with Glitch. Because It's just how it works. Those possession skills go through immunity to possessions just like they did with the Abomination trait. So for future reference, anytime you see a trait that says blocks possession and it's like a special one, don't count on it blocking Hackster or Glitch until you actually can get on and verify that it does. Because if it doesn't, then it doesn't, alright? So I do not think that it does. It may, but all the evidence so far that I've seen says it does not block that status effect at all, and you can still very much hack this guy. Alright? The books he's in, Undead, Underworld, Evil Legion, and obviously he's a Dark Monster as well. So he's got a lot of slots in wars, and that's very good. Anytime a monster is very diverse in where they can be placed, it's always nice because the more spots you can use him, the better. Especially if you got him at level 115 and you don't have a lot of level 115 monsters, that's going to be very good for you in wars because you're going to have a lot, level 115 monster that goes in a lot of places. Now, before we jump any further, I was talking about power and why it's not as important as base speed is for denials. If you guys don't know how damage was calculated in the game, there's 3 things that really play a role in the damage your monster deals. Alright, well, there's a couple extra ones, but whatevs. The main 3 is going to be your monster's level. So a level 100, level 115, 130. Your monster's level does dictate how much extra damage it does. Even if you're not attacking lower level monsters, it does play a role in how much damage you do. Also, there's this damage of the skill you're attacking with, which is affected by, double damage, triple damage, stuff like that. And then also, there is your monster's power stat. Now, power stat is actually divided by 1,000 when it goes into the formula. Alright, there's your monster's level, 40% of your monster's level plus 2, times the skill damage, times your monster's power divided by 1,000. So, the difference between a monster with a base power of like 3,388 like this guy and a monster with 3,500 base power is only 0.2% on the, well, not 0.2%, but it's like a 0.2 difference. It's the difference between multiplying by 3.38 and multiplying by 3.5. So it's not a crazy huge difference between the base power stats because strength runes is where you get most of your power from. Alright, so just want to get that out of the way first because it's kind of important. But anyways, now that you know that, we're going to move on down here to the special skill. This is the Last Ride. It's crazy, right? 60 power AoE bleed, special damage, so it cannot be resisted. That's always great. Not only that, it heals him by 100%, so it's a full-on heal, which makes it kind of nice for a tanky role, because healing himself all the way back up can be very nice. But it also removes all of his active cooldowns. So his revive skill, his AoE, his single target stun, if they're on cooldown, not anymore. So pretty solid special skill, though 100% heal is always nice on a monster, because it kind of brings them back to being fresh. And then halfway through a fight, that can be a huge difference. Alright guys, so now we're going to talk about his skills, and the first one I wanted to talk about here was Dead Man Walks. Now there's a lot of people on both sides of the aisle on this skill. Some say, oh, this is great, it's revival, and just as many people are saying, this skill sucks, it's only 50% revival. And you're both kind of right. Alright, it's weird to say that, but you are. Yes, revival skills can absolutely come in handy, depending on who you revive, because it does change the turn order up in the top, like who's going next. When you revive somebody, that has to change because a new monster is being brought in. So if you revive something like a Denial monster, it can very much change how the outcome of the battle goes, and it can really go in your favor. It also can do pretty much nothing, because it's a 50% revive. If you revive, say, a damage dealer or a Denial monster with 50% life, and the enemy goes next, it's only going to have half life, so it can easily be one-shot. Now, you can kind of counter this by running a Team Life rune on the Undertaker or something like that to help boost that res health, but either way, half-life isn't super great on a res skill, I'm not going to lie. So this is one of those skills that if you want to take it, you absolutely can, and it can come in handy, but if you don't want to take it, like if you're running a damage-dealing role, you absolutely don't have to, and it's not going to hurt you that bad, I don't think, on this guy. Alright, now moving over, we've got Chokeslam. Now a lot of people skipped right over this skill and saw what it did and said, whatever, and they moved on. And I think he made a mistake, because I made the same mistake when I read it. I said, it's whatever, AoE, Days and Nightmares, whatevs. But there's some differences here, some key differences. Alright, so first up, it is a 40 power AoE, which is never bad for damage dealing. It's not quite the golden standard of 45, or even better, 50 if you get lucky with some of those monsters, but 40 power is not bad. It is dark-based damage, so it will be resisted by dark monsters, but AoE Days is not terrible. A lot of people talk crap on it, but it can very easily ruin a battle for you. It's happened to me. It's happened to everybody, probably. But AoE Days, not terrible. Nice little supporting deny there, too, if you're running a support role. But the Nightmares is not the Nightmares you're used to. Okay? This is not the normal base thing with 5 or 10% life reduction Nightmares. These are 15% life reduction per turn Nightmares that last for 4 turns. That's the same as Quicksand. 4 turns of minus 15% life, or in total, 60% life reduction over 4 turns. Very, very powerful version of Nightmares here, and a lot of people miss that, okay? So really good at countering things like Voltaic and Xyla as well, if you can get that to land on them, because they'll end up killing themselves. The 40 power AoE will get them into the range that they'll probably die from that bleed out in 4 turns, you know what I'm saying? The Nightmares, I guess. But not the bad skill people thought it was. So, moving over, we've got the Tombstone. This is a single enemy 65 power. It is dark base damage, so but it also is a stun. 65 power with a stun is not bad at all. That's pretty heavy damage. 65 power can get you into one-shot range, especially if you're running this guy in a damage-dealing sense with like 2 strength runes. You will be able to one-shot people with it. But on the flip side, if you want to run a support roll, it's still pretty heavy damage, but it's also going to stun them, so it's kind of a supporting denial move. It can be run both ways. It does have a 2-turn cooldown, which isn't the best, but a 65 power stun does need a cooldown. Being able to spam that, pretty crazy, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, old school down here, another one I wanted to put in here if you're running damage dealer. Even if you're not running, if you're going more support, you can still run this skill because it does have some supporting value. It's a 55 power, 0 cooldown dark attack with a 50% chance to stun. Now, that goes, you know, iffy. You know, it's 50% chance to stun, but it's still 55 power and spammable. So it's one of those things on a damage dealer, you'll probably take it for the extra damage, and it's spammable damage, but it also got a chance to stun, which is, that's nice. Anytime you can stun somebody, that's good. These last 2 skills, you can either take both. I probably wouldn't recommend taking both, but you can. But they kind of do different things. The first one here, Rest in Peace, it's going to be immunity to stun to himself, double damage, and a 30% heal. If you're going damage dealer, this is probably the one you'll take because it's going to buff your damage, and that's always nice. Not to mention it gives you an immunity to stun. Since he's already immune to possession, that gives you 2 different forms of crowd control immunity, which is always nice. But it also can give you a 30% heal to top off some of your life if you did take some damage, and that's nice too. Moving over, the Ministry of Darkness. This is another self-heal, but this one's a little different. It's not so offensive-based, it's more tank-based, alright? So if you're taking like a supporting tank role in this guy, you'll probably take this one instead. This is going to be a remove all negative status effects from himself, so you know, any kind of bleeds, poisons, burns, stuff like that, which is nice. It also heals him by 50%. That's a pretty powerful heal. 50% heal, that's half his life. That's 17,000 health to heal up. That's pretty substantial. So, this guy, how can you run him? And he's very versatile. Okay, that's what's weird about this guy, is he can be run in so many different ways that it's almost kind of up to you what you want to do with him, because he can work in a lot of different spots. I would say the one thing he does not do is deny. So 3 speed, probably not going to be a thing for this guy. But damage dealer, absolutely. This guy can run as a damage dealer just fine. Yes, his base power is a little low, but like I said, strength runes are going to make up the majority of the damage buff you get from your power stat. So things like that AoE 40 power with the 15% every turn life drain from Nightmares is a very powerful skill. It's still going to hit very hard. If it doesn't kill them, the Nightmares eventually will. Alright, still pretty crazy. As for support, absolutely. You can run this guy in a couple different ways for support. You can run a tanking support with life runes on him and stuff like that, so that you can kind of guarantee he lives longer than the other monsters, so you can get more bang for your buck from that revive skill. Absolutely fine to run it that way. You can run the guy with 3 team speeds and use your AoE Daze and AoE Nightmares as supporting damage, supporting deny, stuff like that. This just works fine. Also, you could run him with 2 team speeds and a team life to get more bang for your buck out of the Dead Man Walks. You know, the little 50% revive. Up to you. Like I said, he got so many different places he can be run. He can even be run with, like I said, you know, a couple life runes and a speed rune or a team speed rune, and kind of run him as a tank. No, he doesn't have taunt or anything, so he's not like a super tank, but he can heal himself pretty substantially, and if he's alive at the last, he can revive your teammates. So, up to you how you want to run him. He's got a lot of different uses, and it makes him a very cool monster, I think. So, there we go. Let's jump back, and we'll end things here. Alright, guys. So, that is the Undertaker analysis completed, alright? Not a bad monster, a very interesting monster, kind of like the 2 monsters that I'll be coming up doing analysis on later, Metalisha and Keythor. A lot of weird monsters coming out now. They're not like, they're weird. They're odd ducks, but sometimes odd ducks are good. Anyways, that's not even the point. That's me for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you liked the video, please make sure you smash that thumbs up button and show your support, and I will see you guys next time.